Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, there, I just turned on my video. How are you guys?
Good.
Good. So I look like crap. I'm just gonna warn you. And I may have a distraction because we have 5 dogs and 3 of them got in a fight yesterday. And so I just picked up one from the vet who had to have surgery. And she's a 130-pound Great Dane. And so we literally had to carry her in upstairs, and I'm a little tired, to say the least. So anyway, I think this is it, because I know 2 people were not going to make it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're missing 1 more person. Let's see who we're missing here. 1 second. All right, so we have Shauna, right? You're here, yay. And Candy. Candy is not here. And Amber, I think Amber said she was at the beach, so she wasn't going to make it. And then Lene was, oh, there's Candy. Lene was working till 10:30, and we have Brandy and Autumn and Raylyn, and now Candy. Okay, perfect. And Candy and Shayna. All right, so I will get started. I want to keep this really short, just so that we all are on the same page and we know what to expect. Yes, it is recorded. And I'm sorry that you're sick, Raylyn. I hope you feel better. And we will have more than just this one. Our booth is fairly simple. I just want to be able to, number 1, get to know you guys, because I feel like that we will work better when we get to know each other. And number 2, I want to make sure that we're all on the same page, because I know I talked to Candy, or not Candy, Lene today, and she had a completely different idea of what the booth was than what it actually is. And so that's the main reason for getting this Zoom together so quickly. So I'm just going to start introducing myself, and I'd like for you guys to do the same if possible. My name is Kelly Cano, and I am a Superstar Director in El Paso, Texas. I joined in August of 2009, so I'm celebrating my 10 years this year with Scentsy. And initially, I just started Scentsy to get out of the house. I was a stay-at-home mom. I had 2 young kids, and I needed something for me that I was going to feel like I was contributing to the family, not necessarily in a big way, but honestly, in a selfish way. I wanted to get out and have parties and leave my kids and not have to feel guilty about it. That was my initial why. And my why now has completely changed. My husband is going to retire sooner than later. I homeschool my kids now, which was never an aspiration I had ever wanted to do. And now that I do it, I wouldn't change a thing. So my why has substantially changed, and I'm sure will continue to change throughout my journey. So that is a little about me, and I'm just going to start by who I see on the screen next. So unfortunately, Autumn, you're the next one I see.
Great. I'm Autumn Hanson. I'm a director from Tyler, Texas. I've been with Scentsy since June of 2010. I have a team of just over 200, and I have 1 frontline director who has a frontline director who has a frontline director. But I don't have a second director like anytime soon. So that's kind of a bummer. But I'm working avidly on my promotion to star director. I am married. I've been married for almost 15 years. My husband's name is Eddie. He's a Medicare insurance salesman. Fun times. And we have fun.
Yeah.
So I joined Scentsy just for a little extra money. And I hit my shooting star, sensational start level 2. And I was like, oh my gosh. So anyway, it's evolved, and I'm still here, loving it.
Yay, you're going to hit that promotion.
It's coming. It's coming. Just a matter of time.
In due time, and then you're going to want to hit it, and you're going to want to have it stick for sure. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, I just took off my glasses, but let's go with, is it Shayna? You can tell me all about that pronunciation.
It's Shayna.
So I'm Shane Attorney. I live in small town Josephine, Texas, and I joined Cincy kind of on a whim in August of 2014. I actually purchased the Roosevelt Buddy for a friend who did the March of Dimes walk because of her nephew passing away every year. And never, honestly, I had one warmer and I maybe only used it one time. So I take it to work and everybody needed warmers, bulbs, wax, whatever it was. And I was like, oh, hang on, I don't sell, but I could. So I went home, talked to my husband, and he was like, okay, whatever. I've done direct sales before. So he kind of rolled his eyes. Yeah, okay, do it. So I did it. Didn't think anything of it, never anticipated it would allow me to quit my full-time job. I was a legal secretary for 10 and a half years at the district attorney's office. It didn't fill me anymore. I was very passionate about what I did. I loved working there. I loved working with the families. Unfortunately, I was in crimes against children, so you can imagine dealing and seeing that content all day long. Sometimes I would cry all the way home, and I was like, this doesn't fill me. It doesn't fuel my soul. It doesn't set me on fire anymore. So financially, things changed. My husband started a business last summer, and in August, he was like, just quit. I was like, okay. I sat on it for about a month because I was scared out of my mind. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I left the county with a team of 25. I now have a team of 158, and we just hit 11th month of direct members. So I'm extremely excited. I know just one more. I think we're definitely going to do it. So I have a frontline director who's in and out because she has a rock star underneath her. So right now that rock star is my first gen director, and I'm working very hard with my sister because I would love for her to be my next director and hopefully promote sometime this fall. So that's basically me.
Yay, that is exciting. So I can feel you on the crimes against children. My husband is a police officer and was in the crime scene department. Now, he wasn't in CAC, but he did see a lot. That's what finally was the straw that broke the camel's back, that made him want to leave that department, because there was too many kids and he can't handle it, especially when they were starting to be kids of our ages. And
exactly.
I think it's a blessing that you got out of there when you did. So, yay. Well, great to meet you. Okay, Brandy, you're up.
Hey, that's super funny. So my part-time gig right now is Children's Justice and Advocacy Center.
Oh, my goodness.
And then prior to that, I was a CPS investigator. And prior to that, I was a supervisor for a research project out of the University of Washington that worked with moms who use drugs during pregnancy. So,
oh, my goodness.
So I am from Longview, Kelso, Washington. A director here. I started in February of 2017. So I just had 2 years with Cincy. And my story is that, so how I got here, I worked at that research project for 10 years, and 2 years prior to that doing other stuff in the same agency. So the research project was just an umbrella project under that agency. After 12 years, they merged with another company, and within that merger, I put in a sexual discrimination claim and was fired within 3 months.
Oh my goodness.
So I knew that was coming because I don't keep my mouth shut very well. So I had applied for other jobs, so I got the CPS job the next day following that. So I worked there for a year and a half, and both of those things were like very traumatic. So I planned on like retiring from that previous job, and like it was the dream job and all of that stuff. And so those 3 months after that merger before I got fired were like horrible trauma. I never knew what to expect when I walked in the door, who was going to attack. And then CPS was just very traumatic because our system is so broken. And so me and my husband had to, like, my dream job was always to stay home with my kids. I'm not one of those people that gets bored at home. And so we had talked about me staying home, but it just didn't work on paper. And one day that paper didn't matter, and I just put in my notice without even talking to him because I was so done. And I came home, and that was a Friday, and I came home and I had literally never done direct sales, never thought about doing direct sales. I was a social worker that hated people because I was so burnt out. And so that had never occurred to me, but it did occur to me that I needed to do something to take a little bit of the pressure off of him at least. And the only thing that I use is Scentsy as far as direct sales products. So that seemed like for 99 bucks, if I sucked at it or I hated it, it really didn't matter. Because I was getting over $300 worth of stuff that I would use anyway. So that's kind of how my journey started. I just picked one of I had 3 people that I bought from. So I picked one of them that had given me some samples, and I had her name. And I picked her to sign up under, and the rest is kind of history. I hit Sensational Start level 3. I hit Sensational Start level 3 twice because we did the restart. I shooting star, and I just kind of dove right in. I realized that if I sold 2,000 a month, that I could make 5% more. And so I haven't had a month since I started until last month where I sold under 2,000. And so it just kind of really like took off from there. And my why has changed too. I didn't really know what my why was in the beginning. It was really just to make sure that my husband wasn't doing all of the work. And now it's definitely way bigger. It's about vocation and not defining myself by the world's definition of success, but defining myself by what my true passion is. Because I honestly was embarrassed to say that I sold Scentsy in the beginning. Because I'd been somebody for so long in the community that just selling Scentsy was, and that has obviously super changed. It's really hard for people to look at you and to be embarrassed when you're going to Spain and Italy and France for free. Right. So that's kind of the deal. I been married. It'll be 11 years in August, and I have 3 kids. They're 24, 16, and 8. I call it my 8-year plan that wasn't planned at all. So I'm super excited. I'm leaving for Florida, so I'm crazy. So I'm going on the Florida trip. So I'm just kind of crazy getting prepped for that, but I'm super excited about this and anxious to see what it is, because the fact that you said it was something completely different than what somebody thought it was has me a little bit nervous now.
No, it's super nothing to be nervous about, but that is awesome. And this is good. I'm glad to meet you. I was going to say something to you a minute ago, and then it slipped my mind. Oh, about you saying that you were not necessarily ashamed, right? But you were a little embarrassed to say, well, I sell Scentsy, and you kind of like, what do you do? Well, I sell Scentsy. Yeah. That was my struggle for a very long time as well. So I'm glad that you are on a new journey and to, not let that affect you, and not to let people have a very different view of direct sales than what it really is. And so good for you. Okay, Candy, you are up.
Hi, I live in Central Oregon on a farm, and I raise lots of animals. And I started with Scentsy. Actually, I just had my 10-year anniversary. And I originally, when I started, we had an Aveda salon and spa, which we had for 17 years. And so Scentsy, I had a staff that had brought it in, and I'm like, no, we can't have that in our business because we sold Aveda, and we had Aveda candles and all that. But I would buy it and secretively have it at home. And that was probably, gosh, I don't know, in 2006. And then I had started in June 9th, I think, 2009, because my accountant, we had moved from Idaho to Oregon, and I was commuting back to Idaho for my business. And anyway, oh sure, I'll try some. I just bought some for her party, and so then I started using it, and I wanted to do some fundraisers for my kids' schools, and they didn't have any funds for ski team, or it was a pretty depressed area in the Dalles, Oregon. It's about an hour east of Portland, and my friend would not do the fundraisers, so that's why she said, why don't you just join and do it yourself? I'm like, okay. And so I had joined and also then hit Shooting Star and Sensational Start 2, I think. But I just was doing it for fun. I never really thought of it for a business until probably 2014. I was thinking more about it because we wanted to sell our business. It was just too much to commute because I was flying or driving back every 5 weeks to Idaho. And I was kind of the same way. I didn't want to tell people I sold Cincy. It was like kind of almost like embarrassed because here I had this business that was very successful, but I was really burnt out. It's it's a very difficult line of work, and just running the business was really difficult, especially from a distance. So I started doing my being a little more serious in 2015. My middle daughter was critically injured in a skiing accident and was in the hospital in a coma for 3 weeks and in the hospital for about almost 5 months. And I just had such tremendous support from everyone. I lived at the hospital. I went home probably 2 or 3 times maybe when my husband could be there. And then I decided I really wanted to work this. I had hit director a long time ago, and I've never been back at the director title. I finally have people on my team that are really working their business, so I'm really hoping, by next month that I'll hit the director numbers. My team is, I think 44 people, so it's not really big, but I think that it's doable. I work at a university just, because they have great benefits and they're really flexible, but honestly, I'd really like to just quit and do Cincy full time. I kind of work it around my farm chores, and it's a great way to get people over to my house to do parties. They want to come see my donkeys, so we have a lot of fun. I don't know what else. I have 3 kids. She lives in Jamaica. She's in the Peace Corps. She's home visiting right now. My middle daughter that was in the accident, she lives at home. She's 24, just turned 24. Then I have a son who is 20, and he was in Chile for a few years, and he's back, and he's going to be going to school in Oregon State University in Corvallis. I work at the campus in Bend. I've been married for 22 years, but been with my husband for 30. God, that's a long time. And that's about it. I've got miniature donkeys, alpacas. We raise Shetland sheep. I don't have goats. No goats. Everyone sends me goat videos. I'm like, I have to remind them I have sheep. And I have, what else we have? We have our alpacas. And so we just have a whole menagerie. We have a really fun farm, though. So that's kind of my story. So I'm really trying to relaunch, my team and just really get my team motivated. And I've got a couple rock stars on there and just looking for more. So anyway.
Yeah. Well, good to meet you as well. And one thing if I can offer any advice to you on coming back into it is, sometimes we focus on those that we think should be successful in this business because they have people underneath them, or they're star consultants or superstar consultants, so we try to focus on them, but they don't want it. I feel like that's where I went wrong when I was trying to really promote leaders, and I was focusing on the completely the wrong people. And some of my certified consultants are the ones that wanted it so bad that they promoted and reached that director level before my superstar consultants did that had a bigger team. So just keep pushing and make sure you look within your entire team, not just at certain, your front line too, because a lot of times it comes from other people other than your front line. So you'll get there.
Yeah, a couple of my people that are doing really well are actually 2 or 3 levels under me, and so they've already passed their sponsors who aren't really working their business. So so I am trying to look and reach out to a lot of them. So we've been doing a lot of training lately. So we're going to do it.
Good for you. All right. So Raylin, I don't know if you are up to introducing yourself. If so, go ahead. If not, then we totally understand. Okay. She may have us on a mute. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and dive in and relate. Raylin, if you decide you want to. Oh, are you there? Oh, maybe not. Anyway, if you decide your mic isn't working, no problems. I will get started, and thank you guys so much for introducing yourselves and telling me your story, and everyone else. So basically what our booth is, we have 2 booths, okay? And I'm going back and forth, so I'm sorry if I'm flipping my screen. We have 2 booths. One is Share Your Journey, and the other one is Go Live. Okay, so I'm gonna need to, and I know that they sent out times. Those are we can completely change those timings of our booth as far as your shifts, depending on what you choose. So we're gonna have 1 person in the Share Your Journey, and 2 people in Share Your Journey and 2 people in the live at one time, okay? So once I explain to you guys what it entails, send me an email just to me, not to the group, and let me know which one you prefer and a time slot you prefer, and I will try my hardest to work. Give me a couple of time slots that you prefer, and if you want to stick to the time slot you were allotted, that's fine, but I need to know if you prefer to do Share Your Journey or Go Live, and give me a little reason why you want to do that, why you're more comfortable, so that way if I have 2 people that really, I just want to make sure to place you where you're most comfortable. So the first part is we're really focusing on new consultants. You know, with the $15 join special, we have lots of new consultants that are going to be coming to Reunion, and then plus that they're able to attend for $99 if they reach certified. So they're really feeling like there's going to be an influx of a bunch of new consultants, and that's really who our focus is going to be on. So we are going to help them create their story. So in that, obviously you're going to have to share your story, but what I'd really like to do is have it be streamlined. So everybody has a completely different story. I would like for you to just revamp your story for this booth only. If you want to keep it like that, you can. If you want to keep your story, you can. But we're going to go off of 5 bullet points. And I can send out this document if you guys would like, but I wanted to talk to you about it first. So the goal is to have about a 30-second to 1-minute story written. And it's a story not just to put on your website, but also for the few of us that when somebody asks you, what do? You kind of shy away, or maybe you're a little bit embarrassed. Maybe other people are feeling that way. If 3 out of the 6 of us right now felt that way, you can guarantee that about half of people are going to feel that same way also. So this story is going to be like an elevator speech, for lack of better words, where you can really tell it when somebody says, oh, well, what do you do? Well, blah, blah, blah. And then they can tell their story. So the bullet points that we're going to be hitting on is 1, share a little bit about you and where you've been. And a little bit. It doesn't mean your life story. Again, we want to keep it 30 seconds to a minute, because that's where it's going to become most impactful, where you don't lose your audience. Okay? Then bullet point number 2, what has happened in your life to cause you to look for something more? And I heard it in just about all of your stories, right? There's something that happened in your life that caused you to look for Scentsy. The third bullet point is, how did you find Scentsy, and why did you have to be a part of it? Okay. And then in this bullet point, I want you to think about how you can incorporate, and not just, I'm talking about you, I'm talking about the people that are visiting our booth. How can you incorporate Scentsy's core values into your story, right? Because again, that just makes it more, number 1, where they will learn, if they don't already know, Scentsy's core values. I'm sorry, did I say?
Sorry, my kid, sorry.
Oh, no, don't worry. I thought that you guys had a question, and I was on a completely different screen. No, don't worry. Okay, so number 1, they may not know Scentsy's core values. So how can you help them incorporate that into their story? So simplicity, how they plan to keep their business simple. Or maybe that's what drew them to Scentsy, was that it was a simple concept. Generosity, maybe they want to use Scentsy to give back. Authenticity, how are they going to be authentic and personable, and how are they going to be authentically them? And then Scentsy stays focused on what really matters. And this is all just from the catalog, right? Doing the right thing, even if nobody's watching, contributing more than we take, being real in everything we do, and empowering people to soar. Creating fragrances and the simple systems that release those fragrances into your life. We can lift moods, stir memories, and change lives. So again, help them to figure out not just why I joined for extra money, right? I don't know how many times if you guys have heard that from your downline, or you're trying to help them formulate their story and their why. Well, I just joined because I needed extra money. Okay, well, why Scentsy? There's a lot of other companies you could have joined out there. Why did you join Scentsy? And help them to incorporate those core values into their story. Any questions so far? Yes.
Yeah. You said there were 5 bullet points. I heard 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going on. There's still a couple more.
Oh, okay.
That was the third one. But before we go on, are there any other questions on those 3? All right. So the fourth bullet point is, what results have you seen? Well, if they just joined, they're not going to have seen results. So we want to change that to, what results do you hope to see? What do they want to get out of Scentsy? Okay. Because that's another thing. A lot of new consultants will say, well, I don't really have a story to tell. I just joined. Well, absolutely you have a story to tell. You have been somewhere. You are where you are now because whatever made you find Scentsy, and then what do you expect to get out of it? Okay. And actually there's 6 bullet points. So the 5th one is, what has excited you the most? And this may not apply if they have just joined. Maybe just by incorporating the Scentsy core values, maybe that will help them to find something that excites them. If maybe they reached their shooting star, that would excite them, and that would be something they would want to incorporate into their story. Maybe they were able to write a check to a fundraiser or their very first party. That would be something that would excite them, something like that. And then the 6th and final one is in with some kind of an action item or a question, so that it keeps the audience engaged. Okay, so and the point of this, the reason we're trying to get them to do that is because then remember, our next booth is go live. So we want to help them transfer this story into a live video on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or whatever social media platform that they want to do. So the open-ended question could be just something like, have you tried Scentsy? I mean, it could be something that simple. It could be something like, what else? Help me think of some other open-ended questions, or a call to action, or do you know of any friends, or will you share, later on we'll talk about the live, but would you please share this video? So that way I can help grow my business, because asking people for referrals and helping them get started is always going to be a plus for new consultants. Okay, so, and I will email you the outline. I wanted to get it approved by Scentsy. I sent in the outline today. They've said it was perfect, so I'll send it to you guys. So that way, those of you that are driving are not able to take notes. You'll have it there. But are there any questions on the share your journey outline? I'll talk a little bit more about the booth in a minute.
I have a question. So when they come up to the booth, we're gonna be working with them individually to create their story right then and there.
Yep. So we're gonna have high tables and some papers. I'm waiting to hear back from Lorena. I sent her back a text message today, asking if they're not allowing us to do any kind of handouts. As in the past, we've been able to do that. So I asked her if we could print out a boxed little outline, so that way they'd have it there with a sheet of paper. So I'm waiting to see, I'm hoping. But there will be high tables where they can actually stand right there and write their story. So what's going to happen? Has anyone presented in this atmosphere before? You have.
Not at Scentsy. I mean, I've presented, but not.
But not at the expo, right? But I'm talking about like the expo. But you guys have all been to Reunion, yes? So you've been to the expo before, so you know how it is. So everybody's walking around, people will stop in and to the booth, and people would be coming and going. So you may have somebody that's been here for a few minutes, and then you have somebody new coming up, okay? So what the situation is there? Oh, perfect. Raylan has been a booth lead and presented. Yay. So you're going to have to start over and just kind of say the same thing over and over and over. That's why we want to just do the simple bullet points. It is not difficult. And we all want to be on the same page, because that's the big thing that Scentsy wants, is for every consultant, whether they show up on this day at this time or this day at this time, they're getting the same content no matter what. Obviously, it will vary a little bit because we will be having to share our personal story in this outline so that we can help them to understand what we're talking about. So it'll vary a little bit, but the bullet points and the way they're going to write their story is going to be exactly the same. Whether Autumn is presenting, I'm presenting, Candy's presenting, all that. So does that help answer your question? Okay. If we have stickers or postcards with our personal stories that we give to, we're not allowed to give out anything. Nothing. Because, and I don't know if it was an issue last year. I haven't done the expo in quite a few years. I've done like the breakouts. I'd say bring it. I'll ask her again. I will say bring it. You're not allowed to give them anything. They really didn't want anybody to have content there.
What about business cards?
Definitely bring business cards, because if they want to connect, for sure. Absolutely bring your business card. 100%. But as far as like giving stickers, I know it does kind of stink because we've been able to in the past. Something changed from last year to this year. I had stuff. Sorry, the vet is texting me. I had stuff last year that I gave out, and I even gave out candy, and they said absolutely no candy, no nothing this year. So let's just kind of stick to that. I think we should definitely do business cards, but I'll ask her again, but I'm pretty sure the answer is we know. Was there something else? Okay, so I'm going to move on to the go live, because I wanted to keep this at 30 minutes, and we're a couple minutes over, but that's all right. Now let's talk about the go live. Has everyone gone live on some sort of a social media platform? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. I figured as much, but so you're all pretty comfortable with it. Now on the go live, and again, you don't have to take notes if you don't want to. I have this. I'm going to send this exact thing to you. But basically what we're going to do is kind of be their cheerleader a little bit on going live, and we're going to just give them some pointers. So go live, be authentic and personable. Of course, that goes with our Scentsy core values. We want to reiterate that authenticity is part of the core values of Scentsy. Use humor, because when they're using humor, it tends to relax them, and most of them are probably going to be pretty nervous. So use humor and try to relax. Also plan out what they want to say and accomplish by the live video, because a lot of them will just go on and then they get stunned. I've been with people that have just started that have gone live and they've just frozen. So if they plan it out and they practice it, it's better. If they make a mistake, don't dwell on it. Just keep going. Encourage participation from your live audience. Ask questions and answer it on the live feed. Interact with the post even after it's gone live. When you first go live, you're going to want to wait a minute or two for people to join live. So you build your audience, and during that time, ask a question or tell a brief story while you wait. I always like to ask where people are, tuning in from. And then I also like to ask what positive thing has happened in their day today, just to kind of get the conversation going. And then during the live, recap a few times what you're discussing so that you capture people's attention that maybe joined in late. At the end of the live, give a summary of what you discussed. Thank everyone for joining you. And then again, like we talked about in your story, leave with the call to action. So asking them to share the video so you can help get your story out there and, get your business rolling. And then I just put in some tips on going live. Share ahead of time that you're going to be going live at a specific time with some exciting news to share. Ask for interaction, like any guesses of what I'm going to be sharing, things like that. Be sure to have a strong connection before going live. Write a catchy description. Ask viewers to click follow so they can be notified when you go live again. Ask, as people join live, comment, mention them by name, and answer their questions live. Broadcast for longer periods of time so you have a better chance of reaching a bigger audience. This allows people to share your video. Don't forget to ask for people to share your video. And then I said, oh, at least 10-minute video, but you can go up live up to 4 hours. Clearly, they're not going to do that at the expo, but you could. Use a closing line to signal the end of the broadcast, and be creative and go live often. So I'll send that to you. But the main thing is giving them some pointers on how to go live. And then, God willing, I've asked for them to have a little sound booth. Were you guys in Nashville when we had the sound booth? So I've asked for them to do something very similar like that so that we can actually move them over and go live right then and there. So that way it takes the jitters out. We can, tell them like, hey, we're going live right now in 5. Let's do this. Let's do it together. A lot of time for my downline, what I will do is I will go live with them. So we could offer to go live with them if they're super duper nervous, or if they have a friend with them, because a lot of time people are walking around the expo in groups. So if they have a friend, we can encourage the friend to go live just to kind of give them that little boost of confidence. So the live one is really going to be like cheering them on, giving them some good all those pointers that I just talked about. And if there is anything else that y'all think about going live, or if you have any other suggestions, please email them to me. This is not set in stone. I mean, it is pretty set, but we can absolutely make any changes that you guys see fit. So that is it, my friends. Any questions on anything that you have? Nope. You guys super excited?
So far. Yeah.
All right.
It's going to be great.
Yeah. Okay. So Raylan says, what about just having them there to show? Yeah. I think they've also asked for us not to do that, but I will ask her again. I will ask her. She asked for us to not have extra things, that if you had something that you wanted to share, send it to her and we can put it in, like a Dropbox. So I will ask her, send me pictures of what you want to share. And that way I can just show her. So 2 of us will be at the booth at the same time. That is absolutely correct. Yep.
So is there 2 at the booth, one doing the live and one doing the share your story?
Yes. So I need to go back and look at the emails that I have sent. Do you guys remember the times that they scheduled you?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me what. I have your names here. So I'm going to go. Amber is not here. Autumn's not here. Okay. Brandy, what time what time and day?
Friday, 12 to 2.
Friday, 12 to 2. Okay. And then Autumn? Do you remember?
Sorry, I keep forgetting I mute myself. I'm Thursday from 12 to 2.
All right. And then Raylan? Oh, you can type it in. Okay, who else? Shayna? I'm going to get your name wrong.
I was Friday from 10 to 12.
And then Candy?
Friday, 12 to 2. I had a question.
Yes.
If that was the day for us to do breakout, do you think they'll let us sneak into class on a breakout on Thursday?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they will.
Perfect.
Okay, so 2 things. 2 things I need from you. Several things. 1, I will email you the outline. 2, if you have any extra input that you want to add in there, in either of them, let me know. Send it in an email. Number 3, let me know which you're more comfortable with, live or share your story. Okay. And 4, whether you're doing live or share your story, I still want you to please work on making your story fit into the content that we are going to share. Because whether you're doing the live or the share your story, you might need to help them in that aspect. So if you could all have that and put it together. And then on that one, what are you more comfortable with? Email or Facebook? Like, do you want me to do a Facebook chat? Are you guys better off with that than email? Okay, I am too.
Either one.
Okay, I'm so much more comfortable with that. So if you guys will friend me on Facebook, it's under Kelly and then Juen Kano. I'll send that in the email as well, a link to my Facebook. So if you'll friend me, I'll set up a group, and that way we can chat. And then as you get your stories together, that way if someone's struggling, we can give each other inspiration on that. But as far as the other stuff, if you'll just send that to me privately, not in the group, so I can revamp the schedule if I need to. Okay, anything else? Okay, I'm excited, and I'll let you know as it gets closer. We'll do another Zoom if or two if we need more than one, and we'll go from there. So I hope you guys have a good night, and thank you guys for sharing your evening with me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.